Everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Happy Saturday. Got Dave's, excuse me, 925. I've had it running. I should say I had it running last night. About 20 minutes on the bench at an idle. And she was doing pretty good. At one point, it started to act like it was leaning out slightly. And I discovered this is a reproduction fuel cap. You can find them on eBay. The duckbill that was in there had sealed itself shut and it wasn't allowing the tank to vent. Now, I've bought this particular brand of duckbill valve before, and I'll be honest, I'm not terribly impressed. The Oregon ones, most of the orange ones that are out there are much softer. This, I don't know what the material was. I bought a pack of them once to try them out. I didn't like them, so I don't know why this thing sealed itself shut, but I just popped that out, got rid of that valve, put a new one in, so we should be good to go. So we'll fire it up in a minute. I wanted to just respond to one comment on the disassembly and reassembly video, the big one. One fella said, hey, just weld a washer to the bottom of that bearing cage and be done with it. What's the big deal? I'm paraphrasing, but essentially that's what it was. And I'll show you what my big deal is. So the bearing cage is actually recessed that's close to a 1/16 of an inch. There's what's left of it, or shell I should say. So you've got some pot metal there. I mean, this is magnesium like everything else. Pot metal is a slang term for it, whatever. So you've got a gap there, so you could set a washer in place, but then you've got this narrow neck right here where the seal goes in. You can't widen that up, so you would have to shoot wire down through here and hope you could strike an arc and get a good bead. Now, I'm sure it can be done. I don't have a wire welder. I've been looking at some flux cores. I don't use them much. I think that might be a way to go, but that's beside the point. I don't have one. And I wouldn't consider myself extraordinarily proficient, at something like this. So what's to say I don't do that, get it a little too hot, and turn this into a flaming ball of magnesium on my bench? I'm not going down that road. So that's why I bought the complete assembly. Plus, the cost of the bearing and the seal almost added up to the complete assembly anyway. So it's kind of a wash. Anyway, I want to cold start this thing. Hopefully it behaves. If there's ever going to be a problem with the saw, it's when I'm going to do a cold start for a video like this. So let's see what happens. So I let it run last night for, again, what I consider long enough to do the initial break-in on the piston rings, so I don't mind revving it like that. It's a governed carb, and I've got it set rich on the high side. I'm now 100% convinced that this cap is a reproduction. I knew that anyway, but you guys see this stupid filter was falling out, so the plastic isn't soft enough to go back around that. So I'm going to have to get creative and get this thing to stay in there. I'll have to tap it down there with a punch or something. That's silly. So that's one thing on the reproductions. They look very similar, but the composition is definitely a little bit different, and that duckbill is not exactly the greatest. But hey, I'm not going to dwell on that. We got a 925 from where it started to where it is now. Pretty freaking amazing. I'm really, really happy with this. So I'm going to finish whatever assembly is left that is going to be done. You know, I'm not going to put a handle on it because it's just going to go back in the box, I think, the way it was. So, yeah, pretty much going to get this finished, drain it out, and get it airing out so that it can go back to its rightful home.